All right, looks like the one we're not going live on X, but Facebook and YouTube we
X
are.
doesn't
So
allow you to be live unless you pay for a certain subscription. You want me to go
Yeah.
live on mine?
if you'd like to, brother, go right ahead, man. You can share
I
this
don't have it
stream.
on. I won't pay X, but I put it on YouTube. We got a pretty good following there. So
Beautiful, bro. Sounds
Awesome.
good, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, homeboy. Yeah.
on with Oh my God, what was our address? What was our house address? 214? 216?
216.
216.
You remember the phone number? I don't.
God, no.
You know what? We just had a
I
fantasy
barely
draft.
remember my own name when I wake up these days.
I was out with a couple guys and they knew it. I was like, man, how the fuck you remember that thing?
Just a 7 number?
Yeah, well, obviously everything was 215 back then.
Yeah.
There was no, you know.
I remember my number growing up at my house.
Yeah, it might be
I'm
about
pretty
the
sure
only.
we're live on mine.
Okay, perfect, man.
Let me-
All right. What's up, everybody? Mike and Rob here on a flyby. A great fucking time to be an Eagles fan for sure, and I'm excited about our guest here. You know, guest today, Craig Quimby from the Green Legion. He's a founder of the Green Legion. I've known Quimby for almost 30 years. He's more than just an acquaintance. He's a fucking brother, my fellow fraternity brother, and Drexel alumni. And you know, again, Quimby, thanks for joining us today, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having me. And I always have a fun story about Drexel because we don't have a football team, and everybody wonders why I hate Penn State and was glad that they lost. And it's not that I hate Penn State football. It's that I pretty much hate everybody that ever went to school there. So
I went there.
when your $7,000 Cowtown pasture tuition makes you a little bit better than me, you can go have fun with yourself. But,
I love it. Well, Drexel did have a football team at one time, though. I think in the 70s is when they kind of did away with it, long before our time.
That was how popular the football team was.
Exactly. Yeah. But Quimby, again, man, I I've known you forever. And again, fellow Dragon. And what's interesting about Quimby, what a lot of people don't know, is that he's kind of like the fucking Doogie Howser of Drexel, you know? And so I know I may be kind of dating myself with that fucking Doogie Howser reference, but Quimby, you were 16 when you started Drexel, right?
I was.
How'd that happen?
Long before I discovered alcohol and drugs. Then at that point, I just found it was much easier to talk to somebody on a customer service line if I was somewhat inebriated.
It's funny, Quimby. I can't imagine. I mean, and again, we were part of the Theta Chi house over at Drexel, and we always had a good time there, no doubt about it. Our house was infamous for that.
What year did you start?
97.
97.
Yeah,
and that was right when we were making a pretty hard rush campaign, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and had a lot of money donated to blow it up, and we did. And that was a good time. I appreciate you guys letting the old guy come in and have some fun with that for a couple of rush seasons. That was a good time.
Yeah, we had some good times. And I was telling Rob here, one of the philanthropies that we ran that was kind of the Gus Open. I was telling him about that, the golf. I said, Quimby came in and took this, this golf outing that had, some, heartfelt feelings behind it, and you cleaned it up and you fucking made it just a spectacular event. I said, and that just speaks volumes to the type of dude that you are. You are a fucking a diehard, like you're going to give your opinion, no bullshit. But you know what? You're a stand-up fucking guy, and you're always kind of doing something to give back. And I think that's kind of people don't realize that, Quim. So,
I appreciate that. It's a little more fun now when we wind up pushing such a volume of people to certain events, and a lot of times they can't wind up going. We had a situation a couple of weeks ago, and to be honest, you guys know this is my swan song. When the Eagles season is over, so is mine, and I'm going to be retired. More than likely, going to be turning it over to Stephanie Morgan, our VP. She is well the wiser than I will ever be, and certainly more patient than I will ever be. But I wasn't coming up for the Giants game, the last game of the regular season, the bye week game for all the starters, and we always try to take care of first responders, especially police officers. Even though my heart is predominantly with our servicemen and women, my sister and sisters and their husbands are combined 78 years Army. But police is also very close to me because my best friends have been cops most of my life. And I talk about that element where I'm not going to beat around. I think people that think cops suck are complete assholes.
Yeah.
Right. Here you go.
Couldn't agree more.
The fact is, since there is so much anti-police out there, still, I think it's gotten a little better because everybody realized that watch some of these cop shows and see how much crap they put up with on a regular basis and try to respect a little bit. But long story short, fallen Philly police officer Jamie Roman shot in the neck in Kensington during a traffic stop, who passed away in September. I had 4 tickets ready to give him away, and I got in touch through our network with his widow, and I told her, I only had the 4 game tickets, but I also wanted, to bring the gang to the tailgate. So, this is a week after Christmas. I'm sure the holidays were taking its toll on the entire family. So, let them have a day where they can get fucked up and not care. And so I said, hey, bring 10. And then my buddy Damian Kalpokis Painting in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, everybody check it out.
Yeah.
He said, he reached out, he said, hey, I got 2 tickets, do with them what you will. And I reached out to her and I'm like, hey, I got 2 more. You can take 6 now. Not everybody's sitting together. She's like, oh my God. And then I just went on my personal network, which is a lot of my personal network is also clients, but they're more personal than they're more family than clients. And within 10 minutes, we had 12 tickets donated. We also gave to a pair of EMTs at our tailgate, a pair of retired Air Force officers, and that part more so than anything has been probably the most rewarding part of this little venture over.
Yeah, that's awesome.
2 decades. Jesus Christ.
It's unbelievable, Quimby. I mean, love that fucking part of you and what you did. And, again, especially for Philly's finest, which, again, they're out here, they're doing it, and they're, they deserve that type of respect. And hats off to you to do that to their family. And, that's amazing, pal. So appreciate you, brother. You know that.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you for acknowledging that. It's it doesn't go unnoticed as much as you would think, but it certainly goes unnoticed. After 18, when we're coming off a Super Bowl in 2018, so that money's still in for that year. I had run like $6 million through my Amex card, and we had wound up sending, I think, 27 current military vets or military personnel home for the holidays.
Wow.
On my points. I couldn't go through them. I still can't go through them. I still have there. But some of the videos, and it was people we didn't know. It was nominate. Get on our social media, and who do you know? And those the moms are always more happy than the kids. But
right.
Yeah, and
you see the moms are streaming, makeup's everywhere. That's it.
Yeah.
like a Tasmanian devil in a tornado.
Yeah.
That's incredible, though, that you can do that for that many people. You know,
Was it? If you used American Airlines, they take 35% off. It's even sillier.
Yeah.
yeah.
Way to go, Amex. Way to allow me to
Yeah.
to exploit that for my own personal gain and everybody else's for 13 years now.
Cheers.
Sorry, as you guys know, I'm still a little under the weather here. So
Yeah. I'm just getting over something myself, Quim. So get well, brother. But I appreciate you
Yeah,
hopping on under given the circumstances too. So Quimby, quick question for you, pal. So like, you know, you've been doing this for 20 plus years. Obviously a great fucking time here. NFC championships going through fucking Philly. And like, you know, I'm a diehard Phillies Eagles fan myself, and you know, season ticket holder. And you know, I'm looking back to last year's implosion. You know, I gotta admit, like I didn't fucking think we get back here. You know what I mean? I was very doubtful. So my question is, Nick, were you surprised the fact that we are fucking here today, where we are?
shocked, and shocked based on what you just said, because we knew. I think players can only play for those people they respect, and our offensive and defensive coordinators last year were not
Yeah.
that in any
Lacking.
capacity, and the offense needed some help too. You're talking about a team that is essentially denied itself middle line or linebackers and running backs over the years. They've never put any weight into it. They've never tried to use this as positions of strength. Now, Miles Sanders, sure, he was a nice player, but you know, how does Kenny Gainwell get more carries in a Super Bowl than Miles Sanders? It says everything you need to know about somebody that went to Penn State, but. Sorry about that.
Back to that.
The fact that they went out and got Saquon Barkley and the way it's panned out, you have to wonder what kind of slop they were putting together in New York for this guy to just come in and take the league by storm. And fuck you, by the way, NFL writers. Are you shitting me? Lamar Jackson or deer in the headlights up in Buffalo? No. The MVP of the season is without question Saquon Barkley, so much so that he even sat without question in a game where he could have broken probably one of the most iconic records that exists in football.
Selfless.
Yeah.
Completely. No, there's caveats to that. And you have to consider that in order for him to this was fun by every analyst that doesn't have a goddamn clue out there. In order for him to do this, the offensive line was going to have to play.
Yes.
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were going to have to play. Jalen Hurts was going to have to play. One of our tight ends, Grant or Dallas, were going to have to play. That's how the field spreads itself open. That's how he gets these gaps. Now, once he hits it, it's all him. One shake of a hip, and everybody's, in dust.
Yeah.
But could he have gotten it without those players? Yeah, maybe in the third quarter. And I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't have risked it. The fun part about this, when you go from a team that now, keeping in mind, we did go 10-1 last year, so there's talent. We know it, and for the most part, other than Saquon and Zach Bond, kind of like that. That's and smashing the shit out of the NFL draft with their first and second pick this year. Which you want to know why this team is playing as well as it is? You can take 21 if you include Josh Joby, who is now not here anymore and playing and starting in Seattle. You have 21 players in the last three drafts that are actually making serious commitments, and 11 are starters. 11 of these last 3 years of draft picks are starters. The only way you can set up a team for a real Super Bowl run is if you have a combination of veterans that you pay for, but you have to have plenty. You have to have
pockets there.
Those draft picks where you're only
Young
paying,
guys.
Nakobe Dean $920,000 this year. And by the way, Nakobe and his family are close to the program. He had surgery today in LA. Be well, brother. We are
Definitely.
looking forward. And don't worry, we know that you got us here, and we got your back. The rest of the team and fans got your back. And
100%.
another friend of the program family is Jalen Carter's. His mom Tony and I have become pretty close friends. She's in Orlando. She's even we'll talk about a fun story because I didn't go up to the Giants game. I'm like, Tony, why don't you come down and come to the Parrot? Hop on the Bright Line and come rolling down. She goes, yo, Quim, be careful what you ask for. And they rolled down 8 strong, all mothers of sons in the program. And I thought I could do damage at a bar.
Nah.
After Joe O'Donnell, owner of the Parrot, Tim as well, after cutting my bill by half, I think I still owed $500. And it was great. It was
That's
fantastic.
fucking impressive.
They were just, it was seriously impressive. Like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this with 8 of my
You do it
friends.
every weekend. I mean, come on now. You're kind of in practice with this.
You can keep up with Jalen Carter's mom, can't you?
I'm telling you, actually, nah, I questioned it. I did take a video though because they came. I promised them I'd make them brunch before we went over, so they stopped here, and I did my
That's
host
so cool.
my host thing. But I do have video of all of them that fell asleep for about 45 minutes, all over the house. And I keep threatening her to post that video on social media, but back to the point. This team is set up for a 3-year run. This is not a team that is going to get dismantled next year. Now, you have $36 million to spend in cap space, and fucking for God's sake, please don't create the PR nightmare that you could by not re-signing Zach Bond. That's your first sign, and your next sign after that is got to be Mekhi Becton. Here's a guy that wants to play here. For Christ's sake, he may even take a pay cut because he made enough money in his rookie contract. But please, and those are the pieces. Those are the pieces that aren't locked up right now. Quinyon Mitchell, where did this fucking kid come from? Cooper DeJean, please, one of the best plays of the season, other than Saquon's around the back and fat guy Michael Pierce's back in coverage interception for the Ravens, and then laying on a knee because he doesn't want to be a meme running down the field. Some of these moments are what makes sports just something you can't get rid of in life. Even if the conspiracy theorists that talk about how everything is scripted and you know what, if it is good, fuck it. I want to play Kansas City again. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I do. I want to play Kansas City again. I don't want somebody to say, "Oh well, you won the Super Bowl, but you beat Josh Allen and he clams up in every big game." Well, good. Then give us Patrick and let Patrick
Give
get
us your
away
best.
with Jalen Carter today,
Right.
because that's something that we didn't have. And now we're not talking about an Arizona team that continues to wet the field every time we play. We're talking about an indoor stadium. Everybody's on the same turf. And everybody knows what kind of cleats to wear in the Superdome. So, please, give me Kansas City again.
Amen.
Just saying.
I'd like
2
to
years
see
ago, left a bitter fucking taste in our mouth on that, interference call too. I mean, that is not forgotten.
Momento, por favor. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I saw the list of like the draft picks of Howie Roseman. It's amazing, all those guys. You know,
He's just fucking Howie's fucking nailing it. He is.
did you see him on the sideline celebrating?
I did in the snow.
It was a little embarrassing.
Harry. I mean, Howie doesn't give a shit. I don't think anymore. He really doesn't.
I don't even think he knows what a football looks like, to tell you the truth. But it did. The wheels did fall off at the end last season with those coordinators.
Nah,
I'm shocked they are here where we're there. We're at now, you know.
agreed, man. Agreed. And yeah. So what we got here, Quim? Oh shit. What's this here? Oh, Green Legion. Never forget 11/20/23. Fucking right.
We were in Kansas City
Uh,
in 2023, and this was the shirt that we sold. I could have worn that over this, but I prefer to give Giants, Cowboys, and Commanders fans the fingers. The finger
I prefer it. I preference that shirt. I do. But thank you for the share on the other one, man. That's fucking great. Yeah. So, Quinn, three games left, right? Obviously, you know, kick it off with your kind of predictions here.
I will predict only one game.
Okay. There you
It's because I have massive amounts of superstition.
go. Okay.
And it is that Kansas City will beat Buffalo.
Okay.
They still have to play in Kansas City in similar conditions, but cold, awful fans. Love Kansas City. Best fans in the world, really. They have 8,000 season tickets that they reserve for outside groups every game.
really?
So, yeah, we can buy as many as we want when we need. And they're fantastic, by the way. Chiefs organization been almost as great as the Cowboys organization, and that's a fun one to talk about because, to be frank, in the beginning, man, Cowboys did anything we wanted, many tickets as we wanted.
Yeah.
Didn't care, and
But wouldn't these cities not want to bring you in?
I'm sorry?
People? Wouldn't these cities not want to bring you in outside?
I'm not hearing you.
He just said, would these outside cities not want to bring you in?
Well,
as
the first 10 years of doing this was primarily convincing everybody else that we weren't a bunch of jackasses.
Right.
And I had one incident, and it was in Dallas, and it was the last year of Texas Stadium. It was when Westbrook sat on the one.
Okay.
We were at that game. We were 400 strong. We had one section to ourselves, and somebody threw a bottle from the top level all the way down to the bottom. He was arrested, and his shit was moved out of his room before he even got back with his flight canceled, and that was all by me.
Oh, good.
If you could tell, I'm in the flight path at Fort Lauderdale International Airport.
Hey, might get a visitor. Someone stopping by.
Hey, please. But it's been something where you work this hard to create these relationships. So every time there's a road trip, sorry, I don't have any of my my anchors for my boom mics. They're all up in Philly, knowing full well that we'd be back there again. So you should see this contraption I have over here. I got the outside ceramic bowl with every piece of
Some duct tape.
Cool.
Yeah, I know you got some duct tape over there in case you need it.
Yeah. It's all over. But shit, I lost my thought. Where were we?
That's great, keeping all your guys in line. Anybody that comes on the trip.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I finally had to start, laying down the law, and it's not something you want to do because, I'm a finance and marketing major, and I have that dual degree, but I think more so than anything, I become an adult babysitter for a living here, and it's a little rough, and look, I do it myself. I'm the first one to slam half a bottle of Jameson, and, not afraid, and trying to tell everybody else not to do that because full well that they're not going to be able to handle it. And I say I'm able to handle it, and I think I got robbed on Sunday because I was too drunk, but that's another story for another time. They've been good, but I also send out a preemptive strike.
Prepare
I
them.
tell them, I'm like, hey man, you know, you don't get 3 strikes on something like this. Be loud, be fun, be drunk, but don't fight. Don't
Yeah.
do something stupid, and don't do anything that's going to jeopardize the relationship I have with my vendors, because I don't have the time or the interest in trying to reestablish with others. Plus, you know, that's the best part about this. Man, you have teams, AFC teams you only play once every 8 years in their house, and they're just dying for our group to come back. They're like, when are you guys coming back? Come on. I'm like, tell the NFL.
Yeah.
We want to play in Miami more often. Trust me, down the street. So, but for the most part, it hasn't been too challenging, but it can. You're always going to lose somebody when you pull them aside and say, "Hey, you know, I need you to chill out." I'm fine. No, you're not. And if I see it getting worse, you're going to get tossed. And regardless of whether or not somebody wants to believe that, they're probably not going to travel with you again after you said that. Right. So, you know,
well, you got to do it. So.
It's addition through subtraction. Sometimes it is.
I had to accept thinning the herd was part of this equation. And, well, I don't know. Maybe that's why we've been able to do this for 22 years, because event planning for 22 years.
Impressive.
I will say thank you on that, because it is.
No doubt.
Takes one really shitty event to lose everything you have. And we've come close. At times, you have to let go of the reins. You can only control so much. I'll tell you this right now, and you know, you can write me the letter again, because you know, you guys suck. Caesar's Palace didn't do anything I said for our tailgate at the Garden of the Gods pool tailgate the morning before the Raiders game. And like, I had to give everybody, 1,250 people, a free tailgate.
Right.
At another time, with no shelf life. They had 10 union bartenders for 1,250 people. I'm like, you know what? Not going to work. But if you have 2 popping stations,
okay,
you know, beer and cracking, boom, 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 boom. Then you can leave the slow union bartenders that are getting paid $22 an hour because they're as useful as tits on fish to actually sling drinks, as opposed to having a crack beer that wasn't even there. They ran out. They probably budgeted for like 3 drinks a person. And that doesn't happen with Philly fans. And I tried to tell them that, but
yeah.
You know,
wrong group.
Caesar's Palace.
So
what else? What else can I tell you about this shit show? Oh, predictions. Man. Stranger shit has happened, but I'll tell you this. Owen Burks came in starting last week. I thought Junior was going to get the start, but Burks got it. And, you know, he had 2 tackles for a loss. And I you know, well, we could go to that for a hot second if you really want to listen to some fun shit. You know, on the defensive side of the ball, we're talking about Jalen Carter, who had 2 tackles for a loss and 2 sacks, by the way, saving the season. Nolan Smith, who I think everybody gave up on, is getting better every fucking week. Moro Ojimo, the unsung hero in this entire equation. A sack and a tackle for a loss. Jalix Hunt, the guy who we're all going, who the fuck is Jalix Hunt? And he's played well in the starts that he had. Josh Sweat, another sack. You want a prediction? I'll give you a prediction.
Give me one.
And you'll like this prediction. So, well, first, what I was going to say is that I don't see any weaknesses on this team. I really don't. I'm a little nervous about Q's shoulder. Not nervous about Jalen's knee. I kind of feel like he's going to get taped up and he's still a threat. And doesn't matter. Run, Saquon, run.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's what we've been
RPO.
all year. Let's stay with it.
RPO, give it to him. Let him run. Let him run. Let him run.
Yeah, and you can see what he can do. You just need a couple of runs like that, the way he had, and it takes over the whole game.
I don't want a couple runs like that. I want one.
I'll
Third
take
quarter
two.
that ices the damn thing. I want these 6 and 7 yard chewing up the clock. Run this thing out. Don't give them the ball. Let their offense get out of sync because they're so not on the field. That's what we want. Want a prediction? If we advance, Brandon Graham's going to play in the Super Bowl.
No doubt. Got to give it to him. I mean,
Is he ready? Or is he just going to push through?
I don't think they're going to, like, they're not going to put him through, like, just stick him in there for the sake of sticking him in there. I mean, he's got to be ready at that level to play.
Yeah.
My
does he have to be
prediction is that Brandon Graham will play.
okay. All right. We'll leave it at that then. Yeah.
I'll write it
All right.
down.
Yeah.
Don't write it down.
We won't remember, babe.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles have a very excellent chance of going to the Super Bowl. I think in that game on December 22nd, had Hurts not gone out, they'd have beat them by 3 touchdowns.
I agree with that.
Now, can you keep a spy on Jaden Daniels? Sure. You got to think Darius Slay has to have a game against McLaurin, especially considering that I'd put Q on him in a normal situation, but whether or not he can, that shoulders is tweaking is a big story. But fact of the matter is, I think this is Jalen Carter's coming out song. We know he's nuts. We know he's crazy. We know he's athletic. We know he's talented. He's got a nose for the ball. And I think you're starting to find out that this guy comes through in pressure situations. He feeds off of it. He enjoys it. I don't, that's why some of us are on a microphone and some of us play professional sports. And those guys that
Right. literally
literally step up to the mic when it's needed the most, this guy is one of them. Just please retire as an Eagle. I don't give a shit what happens. Do whatever.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
he's an Eagle.
And you think about this. You think about this defensive line right now. Okay, Jordan Davis, who has not played significant time because whatever reasons. We're not going to throw this guy under the bus yet. Got another year. Let's see where you step up. But who'd have thought Milton Williams was going to be a player? Who'd have thought Moro Ojimo, 6th round pick? All right. Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt. That's, we were, oh God, who plays in San Francisco now? Defensive tackle, big contract.
Yeah. So Hargrove?
Yeah, Javon Hargrove. All right. Javon Hargrove, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and Hassan Reddick. That was your starting 4 2 years ago for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now you're killing it with kids. Killing it with the kids. Josh Sweat. And Josh Sweat even I never thought Josh Sweat lost a step, and he took a pay cut. But now you are getting massive contribution from 2-year guy in Jalen Carter, from Milton Williams, who we all love, but be honest, he's an undersized defensive tackle. He only goes about 303. All right.
Yeah.
Moro Ojimo, my man, please just keep getting better. Jalix Hunt, keep getting better. Nolan Smith is a stud. And if somebody figures out a way to put 7 or 8 more pounds on this guy, done. It's just there's the old adage that Hollis Thomas, who's former co-host with me, said your body's not meant to hold up to a lot of weight gain, especially muscle. It's designed, athletically to be where you are, at your highest fitness point. So you don't necessarily want to put weight on your edge rushers, but I don't know. I think he's about 230 soaking wet, Nolan Smith.
Yeah, he's small.
Yeah. Give me a little bit more legs, bro, and you got. I don't know, you're gonna have double-digit sacks every year. This is what more so, and I hate saying next year kind of thing, but the most exciting part about this team is there's only two pieces of the puzzle which they can afford to keep every single fucking player on this squad next year. Zach Bond, Mekhi.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully they can do it.
And like I told you, you guys are going to have to tell me to shut up.
Yeah. Well, listen, no, but you know what, Quinn, man, and again, we asked you for this because we know this is your fucking area here. You have your own show. This is your livelihood, man. And I want to kind of bring it back, though, to the Green Legion here for a second, right? So congrats on fucking 20 years, which is impressive. So
Yeah.
I want to get into the fucking origin of the Green Legion. Like, take us back. Like, how did this? I think I have an inkling because I know you, but I'm not really sure. I mean, I remember kind of when it hit me in the face. I'm like, that's fucking Quimby. You know what I mean? But like, take us back to the Green Legion origin. Give us a rundown.
Wayne Johnston. That's the name that lives in Green Legion folklore for people that know. Wayne, I was an Avalon guy. 1996. Back in the day when you're in your late 20s, you think you have a career path, but everything goes sour at some point because you think you have a career path.
Right.
If your shore house was paid for and you got laid off in May, it's like jerking off on a feather bed. It's all you can ever ask for. So you go down to the shore and you get some bullshit cash paying job all summer and you collect unemployment and you go to the beach every fucking day.
Right.
Perfect.
Bars all night.
What's that?
And hit the bars all night. And
all
there
night.
we go.
Because you have that energy. You're 20, you're 26. You can recover that quick.
Right.
It doesn't happen that fast anymore, by the way.
No.
So this is what happened to Wayne. And this is truly before the cell phone revolution. They were just starting to happen, but it was too expensive for most people. And it was more expensive for people that didn't know how many minutes they were using because all that shit was prepaid back in the day. So we had a house line. And, he's not rich. We had 20 people in the house. So Wayne's out giving his phone number to girls all night. And when that phone rings, he's answering. He's answering the phone. And 9 times out of 9.5, it was one of us jackasses asking what the weather was like because we were thinking about coming down for the night, or who was playing at Jack's, or what's special at the Princeton tonight. So he finally got fed up with it, and he's like, "Fuck you guys! I'm gonna build a website, and it's gonna be the underground website for Avalon, New Jersey."
Oh wow!
This thing hit stride in 1997 with like 40,000 views, for the summer, and then the following year, 250,000 unique sessions.
Amazing.
Because he would run around with his camera, digital camera, post the photos after the weekend, and everybody wants to see themselves on the internet.
Did I make it? Did I make the cut?
Did I get it? Did I make the cut? Right. and think about it now. If somebody says, "Oh, there's a photo of you on the internet," you go, "All right, well, is it my cock?" Because that's the only thing I got to worry about at this point. So he was about to do it for his 4th year in 2000, but he had met his now wife. And she was like, "No fucking way. No way are you doing this." And he sold it to me.
Yeah.
And in the country club industry that I was in. I was lucky enough to meet the Mullins, owners of Apple Vacations, and Tim and I became decent friends. And I was always trying to set up a 100 days to go party in the Bahamas. Apple Vacations would pay you $25 a person for everybody you had going, and if you got 25, they give you a free trip. So I'm like, an all-inclusive trip to the Bahamas for 3 nights and 4 days with $500 in my pocket. I could do this.
Not a bad deal.
Well, I didn't have any type of reservation system. It was all, friends saying, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. And you realize that definitely means no. So I was in my office at Bluebell in 2003 and was looking at the Eagles schedule and saw that we were playing the Dolphins. I wasn't even in it like I am now. I wasn't vested. I'm just, whoa, and saw that we were playing the Dolphins on Monday night in December. I'm like, fuck, I can get 25 of my friends to go, more fraternity brothers than anything else, which makes me a little nervous, but I could definitely get these people to go. So I called Tim. I'm like, no, dude, you guys, I go, Tim, you guys run Eagles trips? He goes, fuck no. I'm like, and then there was this little pause, and he goes, but you should. And I'm like, red flag. What does this mean? Like, I haven't slept with your girlfriend, dude. No, don't send me down the wrong path here. And he was kind enough to actually teach me everything that I needed to know. And it was like a 40-minute tutorial. And fun story, I didn't know what was going to happen. My web developer's mom, Mrs. Gabriel, thank you, love you. She was a travel agent at the time. Keeping in mind, we're also 2 years removed from 9/11. Right. And flights were still dirt cheap because nobody wanted to get on a plane. Right. Nobody wanted to fly. I think our most expensive round trip nonstop was $130.
Insane.
So I had a package for 4 people in a room at the White Law, which is this cute little boutique hotel that got its reputation after it was in the first Bad Boys movie. It's the one with the circular white leather sofa in the middle of the lobby.
Okay. And
their motto was clean sheets, hot water, and stiff drinks. And I'm going, yeah, that about
the lines with what I'm looking here. It's kind of
that about covers my necessities here. And Lindsay Smith, love you, Linz. People that I still keep in touch with. She had said it. I asked her to hold 15 or 20 rooms. They were just opening up. They only had, I think, 4 reservations for that December weekend. I had wound up calling the Dolphins to get tickets through their group department. My rep was from Philly. Good to go. All right. Eagles fan. Not allowed to talk about it while he's in the office, but sure enough, Eagles fan. So I got this whole trip set up. 4 people in a room for your flights, your airport transfers, your game day transfers, 3 nights at the hotel, 3 1-hour open bars every day for happy hour at the hotel, your game ticket, your tailgate. All of this was $399 a person.
Wow.
And it was only $499 for 2 people in a room. And I put this, I had.
That's a home run.
You'd think. Right? So my email alert was "Screw You Guys" by Cartman, and it's also my mailer demon. So whenever I fucked up a mass email, Cartman would let me know I'm an idiot. And I had sent this thing out at 9 o'clock in the morning. I went upstairs. My office was in my basement, and 3 minutes later, 5 minutes later, screw you guys. 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 Like, motherfucker, I screwed it up again. Because it was notorious for not doing something right when I was sending out a mass email. It was a lot harder than MailChimp is these days. And I went downstairs because I'm like, all right, I got to redo this. And all I saw was, where do I send the check? 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 I sold 50 spots in 20 minutes. I call Mrs. Gabriel in a panic. I need more flights. All right, I can get you 150 Done. I call my rep. I need 200 tickets. Done. I call Lindsay. Not Lindsay Smith. Lindsay Harris. Sorry. Lindsay Harris. Lindsay, sorry. I still drink a lot. And I said to Lindsay, I'm like, I need more rooms. She's like, oh, cool. It's selling well. She goes, yeah, how well? I'm like, the hotel. And I'm like this jittery kid. You know, I'm 30 years old or whatever, 32 years old. And my God, I finally had an event that goes off like gangbusters. I'm like, I need the hotel. She goes, well, we already have 4 reservations. I'm like, and you have a sister property right across the street, don't you? She goes, yes, we do. Yes, we do, which we wound up taking 10 rooms from in addition. And the photo is somewhere. I got to find it. It was, I don't know, the most probably rewarding part of running the trips from a client standpoint. I had waited at where our buses were with a cab that I sequestered for $100 to sit there because I wanted to make sure that we didn't leave anybody behind. I told everybody we're leaving an hour after the game, and you know, sure as shit, one person comes stumbling over. Quim! I'm like, dude.
Was that
Get the fucking car. Like, you know, by the time I roll over, someone had taken one of the clean sheets off the bed and found whatever they could to write with it, marker, Sharpie, lipstick, and hung it out on the second floor window. Great fucking trip, Q. Where are we going next year?
Oh, wow.
And that had not even crossed my mind. Had no clue. And those 200 turned into 675 for Dallas, and just so happens that our first 2 games were the 34-24 beatdown on Monday night of the Dolphins in December of 2023, and then the 13-second scramble game when I think 44-22 was that score against the Cowboys. I think DeMarco Murray is still chasing Lito Shepherd right now. But yeah, when you pull up to Texas Stadium and your caterer, Eddie Dean, Eddie, still use Eddie to this day every year in Dallas. And Eddie's got 50 kegs lined up for you for 675 people at a tailgate. I'm just going, oh man, this is fucking heaven. Diaz has these photos somewhere, and I gotta resurrect them at some point. But yeah, that's how everything began. Wayne Johnston.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I fucking remember I had graduated in 2001 and I was working at a bank, and I'm a Northeast Philly guy. And, 2 years removed from Drexel and kind of, back up here in the Northeast section. And I remember being out at a bar and it coming up in conversation, like, yeah. And I mean, it just made me like say, I'm like, wow, this fucking thing is pretty massive. And I'm like, I'm not surprised because you were the guy in college, the fucking DJ, the party man. You could put it together. And then even after you had graduated, like I said, going back to the Gus Open and bringing that thing in. So not surprised that you put your magic touch in there. And I think that's fucking awesome. And
very kind, sir.
But Quimby, 20 fucking years, right? So now, like, I love what, like, looking at what you did even like over the last year. Like, you had fucking WrestleMania. You had Ric fucking Flair.
Yeah.
Right?
Ric Flair.
Keep going. I don't want to interrupt.
No. I mean, I just want to know, like, all right, so what the fuck else is on the horizon? I know you did the London trip. You did. So, like, what's on fucking store? Like, you said this is your swan song. So you got to be going out with somewhat of a fucking banger here. Like, what do you got up your sleeve coming up in 2025?
There could be.
He won't tell.
There could be. Real quick, when you're broadcasting live on Fox Radio and your guests are Ric Flair, Brandon Graham, and Vinnie Curry, all of a sudden shit just got real.
Yeah,
it just got real. Well, I mean, to be frank, on the horizon is retirement. We're
Okay.
going to. I'm going to keep and to dispel rumors. There's going to be an announcement about that. When the season's over. I think people think I'm walking away from this entirely, and you can never. It's your child.
Right.
You just have to let go of the reins and realize that there's people that are better suited than you, especially if you want to try to reinvigorate the youth of your client base, and that's Steph. But in addition to that, we are going to put the tailgate on steroids. Our home tailgate. I'm keeping those. I'm keeping the radio show. The radio show is just fun now. I get to fucking blab my mouth off. The only thing I have to worry about is whether that, like, I know we can cuss here, and I have to keep myself in check when I'm on radio for Fox. That's the only thing I have to concern myself with. So, the level of alcohol usually has to is usually what draws that line. But there may be an Oktoberfest trip this year. There may be World Cup trips coming up.
Right.
Oh, that'd be cool.
If there's a market that can be, I don't want to build another market. That's, there's people that are really good at that. And I tried back in the day when you couldn't just target market on social media and get what you need.
Yeah.
I built it organically. My network was built by running around Avalon and Manayunk with websites that were the underground and taking photos every weekend and handing out the card. And, you had to give me your email so you could look at the photos online. And then I had a monster database at one time. It was like 80,000 and all organic. Eventually, you tell people you like Trump and that thins out. But it's still a very effective 38,000 right now. But it was built organically. Most of my clients, in the beginning, at least first 3 or 4 years, I knew personally, and so I don't want to. I'm too old for that shit now. 54.
You can just step in when you want to. Yeah.
I don't even want to do that. The only argument that Steph and I have anymore is I want her to make more decisions, and I want her to make tough ones because she, that's how you learn the business. And she, I don't think, realizes that. I think she's better prepared to make the tougher decisions than I am. Most of my decisions at this point are the old man on the fence in some sort of emotional fucking turmoil. Really? Fucking dickhead? All right, we're not using you. Go to hell.
Yep.
That's me.
Got no tolerance at this point. Yeah.
And then we got to start over from scratch for a new tailgate somewhere in fucking New Orleans for the Super Bowl. And so, and she wouldn't do that. She would pacify it. She would fix the problem. So, but who knows? Maybe there's something. Maybe there's a larger radio career. I don't know. The actual fun part about that question, Mike, is just there is no plan right now. I kind of fucking love it.
All right. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be fucking watching because I know some things are going to be coming in. No doubt. We'll see. And you know what, Quim? No matter what, you got a big fucking weekend this week, right? You got this huge ass tailgate down at Xfinity, right?
Oh, you want to hear this one?
Yeah.
I just sent out an email before this, before we did this, because with 1,000 available spots on this tailgate, we only have 147 left.
Wow.
And that's on Wednesday.
How many total were there?
1,000.
1,000 total. And we're only, and I mean, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's
going to be a lot of pissed off people. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We might need to get on this list, Mike.
You guys want to come?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
We're fucking in. We're in. Count us in. You just yeah. I'm gonna Venmo you after the fucking.
Doing it now
after
before
this.
I forget, because
Yeah.
I will.
Yep. Yep.
Want to bring anybody else?
Yep. As of right now, me and Rob count us in.
I might have that cat Carol. How about Tina?
Yeah.
3,
4.
4, please. That's awesome, Quimby. Thank you.
Yeah.
please.
This has been an awesome time.
I'm not allowed to say what where they work. But it'll be a fun show because we've got Wolfie and Richard Christie.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Really. I fucking love him. I fucking love him.
He's
Him and Sal
insane.
should have their own show. I say that all the time.
Don't say a word about the show. We're not allowed to talk about it. It's
Okay.
I can say Wolfie and Richard Christie, but I can't say the affiliation.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. No. That's why I just said he should definitely, with his counterpart, have their own show. He's that fucking entertaining. You know, that's great, man. That's great. So, Quimby, yeah, listen, with the success of the radio show, we're trying to do this. Some words of fucking wisdom for us on kind of,
Yes, please.
some aspiring podcasters here with, maybe a very small following here and fucking trying to grow it and just be entertaining, if anything. We're just trying to be ourselves. So any advice, please, man.
You want somebody that we've never done still, but that's because our following exists on a bunch of different levels. But if you have somebody that can broaden your YouTube base, that's worth the money.
Yeah.
Find a focal point of the show. It doesn't find a focal point of each show. When we do our show on Fox Sports for the pregame show, the first part is going over the game from the week before and talking about strengths and weaknesses. Right after that, we go into other NFL matchups, ones that have an impact on our team. Then we go into the matchup for the game that day, and then we have a segment called Kajada. Always find yourself a humorous ending to every show. Kajada is kick-ass, jackass, or dumbass. And we go through the panel, and I bring up, based on the team, some funny and embarrassing moments that have happened in history. Or I talk about a romp, the Eagles beating the Redskins 59-21 with Vic and the Vic and Deshaun show way back in the day, and that's kick-ass. Then there's tripping with Daniel Jones, going to the gun range with Plaxico Burress.
Sure shot.
Yeah. So and don't be afraid to ask sponsorship from friends. Just don't ask them for a lot in the beginning. Get what you need to take care of your time and effort, and maybe you can use those dollars to help that base build. That's important. In all fairness, the X subscription is worth it. I think it's only like $15 a month.
Okay. Yeah.
And you'll have 300 additional viewers every show.
Okay.
I don't know how or why it works out that way. I don't know if they have any interest in what you have to say, but these are people looking for pods. There's a market for that. They just want to hear the next best thing and where it's coming from. So, but yeah, don't be afraid to ask for money. I ask for money all the time from people that that have it, and I ask for all the time for people that don't have it, because I know we can actually help them. So get to the point where you're comfortable for the amount of money that you're asking.
Okay.
And then you don't have to sit back and think or worry. You just enjoy concentrating on the content of the show, and let it fucking fly organically.
Right.
Great advice. Thank you.
Tim, you're the man always, pal, and a great fucking guest. And I love you, brother. Thank you, man.
I love you
appreciate
guys, man. I appreciate you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I think I don't tell the story anymore. Fuck, when we're on radio, I don't even tell anybody we sell trips anymore.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So when there's an opportunity to actually tell the story, it's enjoyable for me. So I appreciate it.
I loved hearing it, man. And it's a great fucking story, man. And I'm so proud of you, pal. And keep fucking rocking, man. I will see you on Sunday, my man.
Look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely, pal.
Thank you,
Thanks
Quimby.
again for
Thank you.
joining us, Grim.
All right, man.
Check you later, brother.
Have a good night.
You as well.